basically you're starting with one side of the rainbow and counting. You guys already know that I'm a huge advocate for crocheting for your mental health, and especially during these times where it seems like anxiety has just been kind of taking over the world. So I decided that this week we were going to compile a list together of crochet patterns that are calming and may help your anxiety. So I went ahead and had a little open box for my Instagram followers to go ahead and tell me what crochet patterns they like to do when they need to be more relaxed or feel like they need to calm down a little bit. So welcome back to my channel. I'm Nicole with Cozy Crawly Corner, and I talk all things mental health and crocheting and cute stuff, because why not? So let's go ahead and get started. First things first, if you haven't followed along with Kristen at Junebug and James, she has these gorgeous flowers that she makes with blanket yarn, and I had several people respond saying that they love making these flowers when they need to calm down a little bit, because the stitching is very particular and detailed, and it kind of like takes you away from whatever you're thinking about. It makes you really focus, but not in like a super overwhelming way. And then once you get down to the stem, it's like super repetitive and really easy to follow along. Number two is anything mindless, repetitive, like a blanket or dishcloth is what I got from somebody. I do want to mention my pattern for my blanket. I have it right here because I had to. This, if you don't know, is my Not Today anxiety blanket, and I use the cross double crochet stitch in there. It's supposed to help with anxiety because it does help both hemispheres of the brain. So this is a blanket pattern that I have that also is made to help with anxiety. And you can also customize to 5 different emotions as you are creating your blanket, and it comes with all those printable charts in my pattern. I love that pattern so much, so I had to talk about it. Mama Made with Love and Hook and Harvest Creations has these 2 blanket patterns that are corner to corner. And if you don't know corner to corner, it basically is, instead of like starting with a chain, you start from corner and then end at corner. And the reason that this is so mindless is because if you just get overwhelmed, you can basically just stop anywhere and then finish up your project. Like after a while, you just don't really have to look at the pattern. You just keep going on and on and on. And it seems like you can even choose whatever yarn you want to choose. So another pattern that someone mentioned was Stuck on You Crochet's Retro Circles blanket, which is a really fun granny square stitch blanket that is really repetitive. You just make circles over and over again, and as you combine those, you end up making the blanket. You could also just make the squares if you'd like. Then one that I got a lot of was the Scrappy Cardigan by Pretty and Pate. Even just the squares I got a lot of responses for, because they're really easy. Once you've done a few, you do memorize them, and they're really satisfying to make. So the Scrappy Cardigan for sure. Another one I got was Kit's Knits Two-Tone Throw, because that is very calming. Because there's only like 2 colors and it's the same stitch over and over again, it's really mindless and easy to do, and you don't really have to pay attention once you've got it down. Another pattern that I thought of is her name is Shannon. It's Unraveled and Unwound is her user, I believe. Anyway, she specializes in stress balls, and they're super cute. Basically, she does like all kinds of figures, but then you can take the ball out and like squish it, and it's super fun. And obviously any stress ball is going to help with your stress or anxiety. So I love her patterns. They're actually on my to-do list. I actually haven't made any, I know, but I'm always staring at them like, which ones do I make? Because there's just so many options and they're just so cute. So definitely her stress balls. And if you don't know, her stress balls are just filled with polyfill, so no need to stress about, how many times can I say stress? Oh my gosh. No need to stress about buying something that is going to fit inside your ball. It's just polyfill, which is super fun. It's just squishy and fun. Yeah. And any pattern that is going to be fidgety or help with someone like with ADHD or anything like that is definitely going to help. I know one person, I think Crocheting Professor has a few like that, and there's a ton of patterns that I will show you right here that are like fidgets as well. And I really hope to make some in the future, but I just haven't yet, and that'd be just super fun. I love anything that is going to help a maker and a customer, or both at the same time. I just love it so much. Then I got Oak and Marlowe's Maple Chickens. If you're an amigurumi crocheter, you know Oak and Marlowe's Maple Chicken, like you just do. Anytime I bring Maple Chickens to my markets, I sell out, like every single time. So that just tells you that you need to make them. But besides that, once you have done it a few times, you memorize Maple Chicken, and she's just so cute and easy to make. So it's kind of like a comfort make too, at least I think it is. And of course, Mama made minis loveys, and I have the book, and the reason that I do think that they're really like calming and relaxing is because they do have different heads and maybe limbs, but the body style is the same. So I feel like once you get that part down and you've gotten to the body, you just know what to do, and it's so satisfying to put it together. And then once you knot those legs together, it's like so satisfying, just chef's kiss. Then I got this beautiful Rory blanket by Classic Comfort Co. This is a gorgeous make for any rainbow baby mama, or just a gorgeous make in general. The stitching in the pattern is just really satisfying to come together, and to know that it's for a beautiful cause is just even better. So it's a really gorgeous pattern as well. I got Lily Designs. Oh, what is her name? Her name is Fiber Art Lily, I think. She's actually my friend, but she has two businesses, so I get them confused. She has these little hug bugs, Haven and Maeve, and someone was like, these are so comforting for me because the limbs are so long. It's almost like you can hug them, and you can also like make them weighted, so they're just so comforting to make. Also, just the satisfaction of something super cute being made is obviously going to help you and calm you down. Like it just brings you instant joy. So obviously that's going to help. Then I also got Cece Handmade Hugs, her Zoo Crew pattern, any of her animals or birds, because once you've gotten that body style down, you pretty much know what to expect next, which is really easy and fun to know and make once you've got it down. Then I do have this friend here. Her name is Minnie May. This is my pattern along with my friend Leah May Makes, and this is a rainbow breathing pattern. If you don't know what rainbow breathing is, then I'm here to tell you. Basically, you're starting with one side of the rainbow. You are going to take a deep breath, count to 5 or whatever number I have in the pattern, and you're going to exhale after. So rainbow breathing is a really common anxiety coping tool, but then we decided to add it into our little rainbow pattern. So that's another one that I definitely would recommend if you are anxious and want to work on something that's going to help you during and at the end, because it's super fun to make as well. Then I got a lot of responses about just granny squares in general. I would say especially really simple granny squares would be super helpful for calming you down, or your anxiety, or anything that you want to do that isn't going to overwhelm you too much. Granny squares are really usually pretty fast, and so once you've gotten one down, it's really satisfying to have done that and see a finished product, even if it's like you're making a ton for a blanket or whatever. It's just a really nice thing to do when you just need some sort of win for the day. So I definitely recommend making granny squares. Usually about 3 or 4 round granny squares. If you do more, it might get a little bit harder to be satisfied at the end of the day, but it's still super fun to make, and granny squares are just so much fun. They're so versatile, and there's just so many, and it's just make granny squares. Will say that I got a lot of responses saying that blankets with blanket yarn are preferred when needing to relax. And I do think it's because a lot of people prefer working with blanket yarn, but also because blanket yarn is kind of like weighted. Like when you're making progress on a blanket, it's kind of like having a weighted blanket, and that is awesome. Like that's going to help you. If you don't know, weighted blankets help with your anxiety because it calms you down with the pressure. So I do think that it's really recommended that if you struggle with anxiety, that you make a weighted blanket. And by weighted, I just mean using blanket yarn. And blanket yarn is bulky weight 6 or bulky weight 5 too. Like the blanket I made is weight 5 because I thought it'd be more fun to do it with a thicker yarn. Anytime that you're going to do a repetitive stitch, like in a dishcloth, blanket, cardigan, anything like that, that's going to help calm you down because your body's releasing serotonin as you do create something that is repetitive. So I would recommend doing really anything, and crocheting. I would just recommend crocheting. If I haven't told you yet, just crochet. If you feel anxious today, just crochet. Thank you so much for watching and following along as I go on and on about how I love crocheting for your mental health. And if you have any other suggestions as to what patterns help you when you're stressed, anxious, or sad, or anything, let me know if I missed anything, and I would love to hear more. Maybe I'll make another one in the future once I get more suggestions. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!